about 20, I'm going nowhere. AKA MVP on him. Why would I take you up on this trip? You wasn't with me shooting a gym. Opportunity, my hands I can't slip. Keep it wrapped up, lock with the grip. I just came up out the water, I drip. Gotta crawl way before you can swim. Gotta swim way before you can splash. I say before you throw the cap.
Breaking news, y'all know the situation, Stephen A. LeBron James. LeBron James has finally clamped back, which I would have thought in a million years, never in a million years would LeBron James clamp back at Stephen A. because he's not worth the time.
I'm going to address the Stephen A. Smith situation real quick. I basically told him we can throw down right now in front of everyone. Let's have at it. Me and you, one-on-one in the middle of the court. I told that brother to keep his mouth shut about Bronny before, and he just won't do it. And yes, I know Bronny ain't an NBA level player, and I forced the Lakers to draft him. But you're not going to trash talk my son on live television like that. That brother only acts tough on TV, as you saw. When I stepped up to him, he turned into a golden retriever right away. That unk is soft as charming. Now would Jordan ever do what I did? Probably not. But I'm petty and soft like that, as everyone knows. I'll never be as great as Michael Jordan. So Stephen A. was right about that part. MJ is the GOAT for sure.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter. Crazy. Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turned around, and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You got to stop fucking with my son. And I said, all right, though. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me. And he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit, it hit him. Yeah. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you gotta talk about it. This is you and him. You gotta talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I said, the first thing that I'm gonna do is establish that this was a father talking to me, not a player. And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said that to me, then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this shit, which I'll get to in a second. But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere.
Watch about
it. Right? Yeah. It's a nationally televised game. The cameras are rolling, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Now, we can sit up here in front all we want to and act like we don't work for somebody. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment. No matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. But once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed, because that was confirmation. Man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. He gets drafted by the Lakers, which everybody knew was going to happen because, you know, the skids were greased, and he gets drafted. I still say nothing. I'm getting stats, and he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter, and Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on SportsCenter 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job? If now you put me in a position where, because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how do all of that's happening? But Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say. I can't get away with it no more. So I go on the air and I say the same thing I said over the summer. Yo, LeBron, if we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's going to be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, that's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they going to come for him.
Let me know, what do you think about the Stephen A. LeBron situation? Is Stephen A. in the right? Is LeBron in the right? To me, I feel like, nobody's in the right for real, because of the simple fact that Bronny is a professional basketball player now. People are going to talk about him. He has to get used to that. And LeBron should know that as well. It's professional basketball. They have media for a reason. Things are going to be talked about. Now, we know that the media does drag a lot of situations. So that's something that, could be a 50-50, hold yourself accountable. The media hold themselves accountable. But we know that them type of things will never happen.